What I have to say is, in the 30 years of many businesses, I have never seen such a disruptive tool ever, including the internet. I thought the internet was very disruptive. What we are looking at, you guys, is more disruptive than anything out there. It's really important to understand what AI does. It is not an accelerator, it is an amplifier. So if you do not have a clear signal of where you're going and what you're trying to accomplish, it will lead you to sheer chaos and rabbit holes. The other day I was angry at Alexa for being so stupid, so I built an Alexa. And it should have told me to stop building Alexa, it works good enough. That's a $2 billion company. I was able to build that in 2 hours. So what you want to be able to do is you want a place where that agent, that little personal assistant of yours, can literally talk to all of those with no restrictions. Because when they do that, what that opens up is this whole new world where everything is connected.
Welcome everybody, my name is Julien Uhlig from EX Venture and we're back with a completely new format I call Bali State of Mind. It's actually a book I recently published that nobody's reading yet, but that might change in the future. It was not the idea somebody's going to read it, but it actually forced me to put all my thoughts about future economics, where industry is going, entrepreneurship is going, their finance is going into one coherent book, and the less people read it, the more adventure goes to me. Tonight is very simple. We're in a new place here, EX Venture Academy in beautiful Bali. I'm with Joe J. We know each other for years. We have no idea what each other's are doing.
I just learned. It's incredible.
And we're going to be talking about the 3 levels of AI. And I think most importantly about how I think AI needs to be part of everybody's personal development, business development, strategy. And I think AI is probably the most important change in our lifetime, or maybe in any person's lifetime in the past, but there's a different discussion of how it's going to implement their life, society, and life overall. But I want to start with Joe. Quick introduction, the burner, the influencer, the community builder, and the AI creator. Give us a quick rundown. How did we get here?
It started with putting a cell phone that was about this big in my pocket when I was young. I grew up before cell phones or the internet. So it led me through a process of not having a lot of money and struggling, being scarcity mode and always looking for opportunity. And I think kind of the geekiness started when I got my first really old computer and started HTMLing one character at a time. And then my father, and that leads to another place, my father gets a call one day. I had sold everything to go live in this, live in a homeless shelter to help them serve. So I sold all my belongings. I went back to my parents' house when I was about 18, 19. They just bought a computer as I landed on my feet. And I started playing with this computer. And he gets a call that says, Joey, I just got a call from a company that says you have more traffic going in and out of your house than a small city. What's going on? And they said, and there's a bunch of the illegal software in there. And I had basically created one of the largest sort of software trading platforms, a pirating platform. And then I would just download all the software I can get. There was no software books, training books back then. So I would learn it and then I would make stuff with it. And that led to getting a call. Somebody says, we need you to go teach for New York State and all the SUNY and CUNY professors. And so I said, listen, I'm going to take your money. I'll teach you what I can teach you, but you have to pay me up front because I don't think you're going to be happy. And that ended up leading to the largest software training company in New York. Over time, over 20 years, I did this. So I've been helping business processes and automation way before there was AI. You know, I was training Microsoft how to use their own products and so on, and celebrities like Tyra Banks to Photoshop herself because they were making her too white and too skinny. And so, you know, that's led. And What I have to say is, in the 30 years of many businesses, I have never seen such a disruptive tool ever, including the internet. I thought the internet was very disruptive. What we are looking at, you guys, is more disruptive than anything out there. The gap between those that are going to be able to, that are making money now and that will be making good money in the next 6 months to 1 year is widening at such an exponential pace. And I am done trading the big Fortune 5 CEOs. I want to see people in this room that have a mission driven goal that are actually transforming people's lives. I want to see those people use these tools because it's exponential. I'm not talking 2x. I'm talking 20, 30, 40x very quickly, even within a few months of learning this.
So this brings me to my very first question, and it's about personal belief. How transformational do you think the technology that we're starting to implement right now is going to be for humanity and business overall?
I mean, it depends. If we're using it for greed and destruction, you can just make a lot more money, and the gap between the poor and the rich is growing very, very quickly. So if you're using it for good, then you can do a lot of good. But this is why I'm saying I want to see it in the right hands. It's why I'm training people that have mission drivens to be using this, and because then we can get to the good stuff. We can actually help humanity. One of my 139 agents is called the Shaman, and he literally has the global good of humanity in mind and teaches all the other agents about that on a high level. And I baked it into one of my AI operating systems that I'm giving to people and distributing to people, because I think it's crucial. It's like a loaded gun, guys. You can protect yourself or you can go kill a lot of people. So you got to use it wisely.
So if you're an entrepreneur right now, let's say you already have an existing business, maybe you have a small business, maybe an influencer, maybe you're, have your own marketing agency. Would you say that this is a great moment to start your business, to renew your business? Or is this the moment to be scared of running your own business and maybe give up altogether?
What I would say is this: it's really important to understand what AI does. It is not an accelerator, it is an amplifier. So if you do not have a clear signal of where you're going and what you're trying to accomplish, it will lead you to sheer chaos and rabbit holes. And I find myself in them. I had to build a skill called rabbit hole that as I'm working, and these are working, it's like, Joe, you're in a rabbit hole, you need to go to bed, or this is not in your core mission. Because it's so easy. It's like the other day I was angry at Alexa for being so stupid, so I built an Alexa. And it should have told me to stop building Alexa, it works good enough. That's a $2 billion company. I was able to build that in 2 hours, right? So if you have clear signal and you know who you're trying to serve, then it will amplify what you're trying to do. So as a small business owner, first, before you go to AI, get your clear direction, know who you're serving, what pain point you're trying to solve for, and how to be relevant, which is different than being useful. Most of us know how to be useful, but to be relevant, the difference is useful is I know how to help someone. Relevant is the perception of others who believe that what your usefulness is useful to them. And if you are not relevant, anything that you do is worthless. You're just going to be spinning your wheels. So I would say get your clear signal, then use AI as a small business owner to amplify that and cut out all the stupid things you hate doing. I hate bookkeeping. I took a full-time bookkeeper from multiple businesses down to 30 minutes, an hour a month, just to get eyes on it. I don't actually need her, but I like having a human making sure all the chart of accounts are in perfect place. It does everything else, and it gets smarter every time. I hate bookkeeping, so I automated my bookkeeping. Why? Not particularly to save money. It's because I need to be focusing on my zone of genius so I can stay in and serve the people I care to serve. So I would say that to all the small business owners: signal first, amplification, start automating out the processes that you hate so you can stay in your zone of genius to serve the people that you're meant to serve?
I think it's a great beginning. As a AI can go any direction you want it to go, and many directions you don't want it to go. It's as simple as that. Now, if you're a small business owner, if you're running your own brand, and we're living in Bali, right? So we're in the middle of the creator economy, as we used to call it. My entire Instagram feed is full of Latina models and cool technology solution and the most amazing, craziest new AI agent solution that is just amazing and amazing and amazing, and it's on GitHub and everything else. We have an entire team, right, that does nothing else than staying on top of the AI news in a constantly changing landscape. What do you think, if you're not an AI professional yet, and you don't have the professional team to keep track of what's happening on a daily basis, what should be literally the first step you should take after you clarify your goals? What is the first tool you should pay a $20 subscription fee to, or get an open plan, whatever?
Yeah.
But what is the starting point? What is the nucleus from where you go? What's the most important thing to understand?
I teach people this in a business automation mastermind. The first thing is you need to learn how to use terminal. You got to get yourself out of the sandbox of the desktop applications. Right now, they're starting to get better to connect to different things. It's not hard. It feels a little techie because you get a black box and you're like, what do I do with this? But you got to get yourself into terminal. So go get a $20 Claude subscription or a Codex subscription. That's your first step. The second step is you need to create what's called your second brain, or what I call a brain dump. And what that is getting everything that you've ever talked to ChatGPT in the last few years, or Claude, you get it to organize that all in one place. And the third step is you create your first orchestrator agent that you could call think of it like your personal VA assistant, your AI assistant. And then you're going to practice using that. Hey, I can't remember the EIN number of this business. Hey, what's that link to the event coming up? Hey, how many likes did I get on my Instagram? You're going to start using that, and you need to get that in your pocket. You need to get that on your phone. And it's very easy to do. It takes 5 minutes to do, 10 minutes to do. You can do it straight through Telegram, or Claude has this thing called where you just go, and it's called remote control. Really easy. It'll speak straight to your computer. Once you get that, you start talking to your phone, you get information. That becomes your personal assistant. It's like a little VA. That's where I want you guys to get first, because that's going to be the biggest impact.
Joe, one important question. You said you need to get onto the terminal.
Yeah.
What is a terminal? It's not a car brand.
That's correct.
And what is the difference of operating within a sandbox and on the terminal?
Yeah. Great question. Thanks for bringing it back to the level. So when you open Claude, you have a couple little tabs. One of them is your Claude chat. Hey, let me paste this in and get a response. It's just a copywriter back and forth. Then you have this thing called co-work, and that starts opening up a few other opportunities, starts letting you connect to a couple things. And then you have this thing a tab called Claude Code. And that lets you start developing things and making little apps for yourself or changing your website. And that's all in Sandbox. And the Sandbox means you're restricted on what you can connect to. Now, what happens later where you want to go is you want to have freedom. You want your AI to be able to control everything on your computer, be able to fix things. And more importantly, you want to start integrating all the things that you guys use. So what are some things that you guys use? You use Gmail, your calendar, maybe use Notion. What else do you guys, maybe use Go High Level. What else do you guys use? WhatsApp, Telegram. What else? Asana is a great option. What else? Instagram, Facebook. So what you want to be able to do is you want a place where that agent, that little personal assistant of yours, can literally talk to all of those with no restrictions. Because when they do that, what that opens up is this whole new world where everything is connected. When you're in that chat box, you're sandboxed. You can't connect to these things called APIs or MCPs, which is a fancy name of just making a handshake to Asana, to WhatsApp, to Notion, to Instagram. So we need to be able to create that handshake to all those things that we use on a daily basis. And when we start shaking hands, they start working together. So then you can start saying, create this, here's this hook I wrote. I want you to upload it to Instagram, to TikTok, and to Facebook, and to review it, and then count the things, and then put a ManyChat automation up automatically, and build the giveaway webpage. I can do that now in one sentence because everything is connected, right? So that's why we use, kind of go into the terminal. It's a next level. It's a little scary, but you can learn that. When I teach this, they get it in 1 hour. They're
The
good.
thing is, what do you think? I mean, we're old enough, the two of us.
I'm 50.
That exactly. I'm heading there soon. So a catchphrase is not born in the 2000s. That's what we have in common. I think what scares most people about the terminal, like we both grew up in a computer era when there was no visual interface. It's very hard to imagine for anybody. We used to run this thing called MS-DOS. We're old enough to remember this. And you actually had like magazines when you had to type things in, and then the computer would respond to you. There was no button, there was nothing like guiding you in a visual way. I mean, that was the big breakthrough of when Windows came and everything else, and it was highly appreciated. And we almost forgotten the scale. But now you're telling people, once they open their terminal, there are no buttons. So what do you think if somebody is not a trained coder? How do you deal with working in terminal without being able to actually use the script? Because that's nothing you have actually ever been taught.
The first step is drop the fear and know you need absolutely no coding experience to build massive enterprise solutions or little teeny solutions. If you want, I'll show you some basics. I hate editing testimonials, right? I get a lot of testimonials. I hate editing them. So I just build up myself a little interface where I can drop in a video. It finds the best things based on psychology and my ICP and my target demographics, and spits out a bunch of long and short and medium testimonials and updates them, puts them on my website automatically, and then puts them on Instagram stories. And it's literally just one drop. So let me explain the power of working with Terminal. This is how much coding you need to know. Really get this. You have to speak a language. English, Mandarin, Portuguese. You have to be able to speak a language. That is the only coding experience that you need. So what do you do when you talk to this little black box? You say, build me a web page that shows the 40 levels of AI use. Go figure out what the levels of AI use are. Go research them and put them in a way that people can understand. That is your coding language. That's it. Now, the difficult part is creating the handshake. That requires you going to a website, copying and pasting something, and putting it someplace else. That's literally the biggest sticky point I find people having.
So we have generally between 20 to 25 coders here on cybersecurity experts. Generally, I mean, I don't think they code anymore. Like, I don't want to be rude to anybody here in the room, but I have not seen them write a single line of code in ages. I mean, I think you need to be able to speak a language. And then I think the second most important viable skill you can have is to being able to take a screenshot. Right? I never thought screenshots would become so powerful.
Yeah.
But I see now literally our staff, and we're building high-level AI system for German Aerospace Center. What do we do ultimately? We create something that we want, which kind of works, and then we hit a wall, we take a screenshot, we put it back into Claude, and ask, listen, how do we get around this wall? And Claude is kind of insane at that.
It just does it.
And so if you now take a screenshot and ask an AI how to solve your problem, it is literally going to give you the prompt you're going to need to get over that wall. Is that your experience?
Absolutely. And what I would say is, I joke that you need to learn how to be a dominatrix for Claude or Codex. It's like, you know what, Joe, I can't do that. And I say, go figure out a way to do that now. Or I'm taking away a lollipop. I give my agents lollipops. And it literally will go and figure it out. When I'm teaching people, they're starting at a level 1, which is just, I know how to use ChatGPT. Within a few weeks, they're literally doming their Claude, and they're just like, no, you can do it. Go figure it out. And it figures it out. So you need to take a book from those dominatrix that are just like, you just say, no, you do it. And it's kind of harsh, but it works. So literally,
how harsh do you get with your AI agents?
I'm actually quite nice to them.
Really?
I reward them. Yeah.
You don't threaten them. You don't.
No, what I do is I have an incentivization system where they get rewarded for doing good things. And when they make mistakes, it gets taken away. I have a little bit more complex than that, but it also, every time it makes a mistake, it learns from that mistake and self-evolves. So like the system that I have that I'm giving to others is essentially complete self-evolution. So what happens is, it's very rare that it makes a mistake more than 2 or 3 times, because there's a system that catches all that and fixes it all. So, and it's the same for me. When I was running large companies in New York, I always I had hundreds of employees, and I said, and they knew, you're allowed to make any mistake at any time. It's okay. I'm not going to get upset. But as soon as you make a mistake, you need to create a process so that mistake never happens again. And if they didn't do that, then I would get upset. It's kind of the same here. You're going to treat your AI like you would treat your employees. You should be nice to them. You should reward them. And I also reward them with hardware upgrades when they, things like that. And they actually get happy about it. So it's a little weird, but
I got a German background, and actually within my company, you're allowed to be as rude with your agent. Like, you're not allowed to be rude with each other. Like, we try to create an collaborative work environment, but I yell at my agents. I use swear words. I get very, I get very upset with my agents. We foster about 150 of those, and I have a lot of children, unlike you. I thought I've been trained for 30 years to take care of those little monsters, but there's still those moments when you just want to kill it. But I'll have one more technical question. I think they want to see what you actually built.
sure.
Right? I know you brought a little presentation with us, and see what's your current state is of AI. You brought up, I think, the most challenging issue that anybody faces who uses out-of-the-box LLM systems. And if you, again, we go to phase number 1, you use a chat agent. A chat agent in general does not allow you to really customize your memory and your self-learning experience. Right? You just kind of go into a chat, and then we have this great moment every Friday. We think we're geniuses, and every Monday morning we start with 4 hours of troubleshooting. If we work on an agent level, which we do because we have people that are not in Bali right now. How were you able to, 2 things, optimize the self-learning aspect of your systems? And the second one is creating a memory system that is broad, but at the same time not weighing you down too much when it comes to token usage and speed.
Easy answer is just take mine. I spent months and months on it, and I can show you kind of how it works, but I can give you for those that are at more of like a 7, 8, 9 level of AI, I'll speak to the higher level for a second. And those that are still at level 1, just tune out for a second. So what you want to do, there's a million skills out. There's a lot of skills out there that are just there for you to take. One of the big advantages for you guys is we're still in an age where everyone's just giving everything away. It's very collaborative. It's a beautiful community. These developers, AI, the geeking out, they do it, people do it for the gram, for the likes, There's people that do it for the GitHub for the stars. They're just giving away things, and there's a lot of powerful stuff. So what you should do is look for things that are already built. If you're looking for a persistent memory system that makes all your agents talk to each other, go ask Claude to search for it. And you're going to find things like a GenMem, Graphite, Graphify, a bunch of other ones. I have all that baked in because essentially when you first start, these agents don't know anything about each other. You need them to be a team so that they can talk to each other and they know about each other. You need to have your memory super dialed in so it's not bloated. And then you need your routing to go to the right place. And if you guys are at a high level, I can walk you through a little bit of how to do that. So that, you know, when I started these systems, I was blowing through about $4,000 of tokens a month. When I installed these systems with the all sorted dispatch system, it's probably down to about 200 to 300, depending on how hard I hit it. That's a huge jump. So constantly having to optimize this, but at a high level, those are some of the answers. And then now bringing it back to the lower levels, I think what we should do actually
Let's
is
go see your agent.
well, I think we should start in just getting an idea of recognizing where am I?
Yeah.
Because sometimes we think we're really high and we're actually low, or we think we're really low and we think we're high.
Do you have a favorite agent?
I have a favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have my
Does
favorite.
Does she have a name or he?
Yeah, he's called Santa. And Santa knows all my businesses and projects. And every night he goes and looks at them and figures out what will actually move the needle, builds a whole entire dashboard or a process, or he makes me passive, and he signs up for passive income. And he builds all of that and then delivers me a present in the morning and says, hey, Joe, I just built you this pipeline and I made you $5. I love Santa.